Hi folks, Greg here, and just want to talk a little bit about sitcom in a short video. I'm just looking at some pages. Okay, good work on those diagrams. You probably got my email, that's why you came here to watch this video. I'm just going to look at a couple of diagrams that people sent me and just talk a little bit about the verbs they used, real brief. I don't want this to be too long. Okay, so one student, I'm just going to jump into a bicycle thief diagram just to sharpen your observation powers. So one student wrote in like the 5th or 6th scene, you don't have to look along with the bicycle thief. You don't even have to look along. You don't need to look at your diagram. I just want you to get a general idea. Let's see. So one sentence, Jay tries to be irresponsible with Manny only for Gloria to verbally battle him about it. So the words irresponsible and battle are capitalized. Irresponsible is not a verb. So please tell me how he tries to be irresponsible. That's what's important. Look for what he does, whether it's subtle or whether it's overt. Okay. Another example. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. This was that scene, I think it's with Desiree. Phil gets overly friendly with their new neighbor, and friendly is capitalized. Claire chastises him for it. Chastises is capitalized. And Jay playfully mocks Luke. So the capitalized words are friendly, chastises, and mocks. One of those verbs is not a verb, okay? And that's obviously friendly. It's an adjective, okay? Chastises is a great word choice there, and so is mocks, okay? Because that's exactly what they do. Sharp sitcom scripts usually have clear actions going on in the dialogue in each little scene, okay? But Phil gets overly friendly with their new neighbor. I got a better word for that. Phil flirts with their new neighbor. Flirts is a verb. Make the jump. It's not easy to do. I'm not a great diagram writer myself, but when I write the diagrams and I have to wrestle with these things, I learn much more about the show I'm researching. And I remind myself, action, 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 move the story along, right? And you've got to have action to have conflict. See, I made a couple notes. Sorry, I got to look on this screen. I'm not a great performer. So reasons to make sure we see actions. One, it's the element writers lack the most. Okay, in my experience, I used to read scripts. Not only did I work as a screenwriter and I've sold a TV script and many screenplays, but all comedy. But I've also, just as importantly, read for agents, where I was the coverage person, the reader. And usually within a couple pages, if there's not enough action, whether overt or subtle, it needs to be there. You put down the script and you stop reading, okay? As soon as you write characters sitting around chatting, the tension leaves the scene, and people wonder why they're reading your script or watching your show. It's obvious, and you know that, and I know that, but it's hard to keep reminding yourself. That's what I'm trying to help you do. Action provides conflict. That's necessary. Of course, characters don't take actions without reasons. They do it because they want something, a job, a love interest, a ham sandwich. They may want to be loved, or they may want to be treated in a certain way. And the more they want those things, the more they will take actions to get them, and those actions will conflict with the wants and actions of others. Because everybody is pursuing something all the time, certainly in sitcom and drama in general, and the more conflict we get as a result, the better. The more sparks, the more funny in a sitcom. Okay? I quoted from the examples. Here's another one. Let's see, somebody wrote, Claire cooks breakfast and orchestrates family activity. Oh, this one came from the pilot. It was that first scene in the pilot that you looked at. Cooking breakfast isn't that important. Fine, you can write it, but it's a surface action. Orchestrates family activity. Bingo, exactly. Manipulates, orchestrates, corrals the family. However you want to put it. Pushes people. Those are all the capitalized sort of verbs and actions. Okay, I'll move on. So this brings us to the subject of stakes, which I think we're going to deal with a little bit in the homework that I sent you, the assignment. The more you can make something important to a character, the harder they try to get it, right? Which means more funny, more action, more comedy. And the stakes can be raised in every scene, okay? Generally, in a Modern Family scene, most of the time they're raising the stakes in every scene. Typically in a sitcom, something that seems small in importance gains in importance with each passing scene, where we look at that storyline over and over again. So we look at that storyline progressing forward towards the end. A character may want a sandwich, then get into a conflict with the deli owner who refuses to sell him the sandwich. That's pretty small stuff to fight over. Then the character may find that his friend sees him as a weak person who is easily pushed around. That might assault his self-esteem, make him feel differently about himself, and go to the core of his, or for that matter, her being. Suddenly the character wants the sandwich even more because it seems to matter more. It could also matter to his friend as well. But most importantly is how it matters to the protagonist of each scene, the person taking the actions. That's called raising the stakes. I'll talk about it over and over. You can't hear enough about it. It's critical. Each scene in a storyline should try to raise the stakes. We need to look for that when we read these scripts, and we need to write that when we write our scripts. So that's my little lesson. And I'm looking at the assignment, Coal Digger, use button despite. Oh, it's so important to concentrate on having obstacles. It's so important. If it drives you crazy, trust me, when you start to write scenes, which is coming up soon, if you remember you need those obstacles and you force yourself to get used to them, you get used to them and to know they need to be there, the writing will benefit. Your writing will benefit greatly. Stakes we talked about in terms of diagramming on guard. And Kimmy Schmidt, we should just read something that's not Modern Family. And in Kimmy Schmidt, I'm going to ask you some questions in a discussion that I'm posting tonight. And not anything too extensive. I just want to get you to think about Kimmy Schmidt as a pilot and how character is established through actions and through choices that characters make. So that's it. That's the end of our video. Wow, 6 minutes and maybe 30 seconds total. Thank you for watching. Email. Remember, everything just goes to depaulg@newschool.edu. Emailing me directly or sending me your assignments. I know there's a way you submit assignments on Canvas. I mean, I've seen it. I don't find it helpful, so I never ask people to use it. Any questions, please ask, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.